The Central Florida Christian Chamber and Triangle Media welcome you to the Builders Podcast, spotlighting Christian business leaders and their stories of faith, leadership, and success.
Hi, everyone. I'm Krystal Parker, president of the Central Florida Christian Chamber of Commerce. And boy, do I have a treat for you guys. Our relationship building event keynote speaker is, and I've been talking about this for months, but maybe you haven't had a chance to meet her, Miss Frances Rios, coming to you from the Winter Park area, CEO of her own company, Women Who Lead. I will not even begin to do her background justice. So Frances, welcome to the Builders Podcast. And I cannot wait. I'm seriously so excited to introduce you to everyone and everyone to you. Will you just tell people a little bit about your background? And I just find it really interesting of how you got to having your own company and what you do with your company, Women Who Lead.
I don't know who's more excited, if it's you or if it's me, because you and Kevin have been talking to me and sharing with me everything about your members, and it looks like you have a prestigious, wonderful group of business leaders. So kudos to you all.
Thank you.
Okay, so where can I start? Well, let me start by saying that I come from the corporate world. For basically 20 years, I was spokesperson for major Fortune 100 companies like Walmart and Humana. And after so many years in the corporate world, I decided to have my own company with basically two purposes. One purpose was to help organizations grow with the power of their female talent. And secondly, to help their female talent understand what needs to be done on their behalf to reach their top tiers. Let me explain myself. Just recently, I had a conversation with a bank CEO, and he was telling me, Frances, I don't get all this buzz about women. And I was like, well, and then he told me, you know what? All my branch managers are women. And I told him, oh my God, kudos to you. That's fantastic. That's great news. But let me ask you, how many women report to you directly? And how many women do you have sitting at the board of directors? And there was a major silence. And then I told him, you know what? You are doing very well. But right now, you're probably leaving money on the table. Why? Because 85% of all purchasing decisions made at home are made by women. So you really need to know what they want and need in order to serve them better, attract them, and transform them into your number one fans. But you won't be able to understand what they really want if you don't have women sitting at the top tiers making the most important decisions. And that's why I come in. I help my clients and CEOs, like the bank that I was telling you, understand what they need to do in order for them to promote inclusion of women, that is women in the top tiers, and also to be able to attract and retain the female consumer as well.
Wow. And we've talked a little bit about this and who should be in the audience, and we fully expect a lot of women to be there because it's Ignite Revenue with the Power of Women, but you kind of would like also to have a balance. You mentioned the Jack and Jill.
I need men there, and I'm going to tell you why. There are thousands of speakers saying, oh, the women power, women are the ones that are going to run the world. That's not my point of view. My point of view is very clear. We need both women and men working together. And when they work together, then as a team, they can promote the growth of a company. This is not about who's better or who's not better. But one of the number one problem is that sometimes men, sometimes no, I could say 99% of men always tell me, Frances, I don't understand women. I don't understand them. If you don't understand 50% of your workforce, Houston, we have a problem. You're leaving money on the table. So it's crucial that we promote that communication, that understanding, so that both can work together and help your company grow and grow and grow.
It's funny, Frances, because some of the companies that have had, I would say, kind of a black eye when it comes to missed marketing opportunities, that have spent millions of dollars on marketing. I'm not going to call anybody out, but have spent millions of dollars of marketing and then absolutely had to quickly pull it back because they missed the mark. And I always think about, who was in that room putting out that marketing? It probably wasn't to the demographic that they're serving. And I think I heard you say that this is about also reaching the consumer. It's not just engaging the workforce, but it's the ability to really reach the consumer and drive up sales potentially.
Let's talk numbers. Let's speak in numbers, Krystal. 85% of all the purchasing decisions at home are made by women. That's number one. More or less 50% of the workforce is populated by women. So you need to really pay close attention to your female talent and your female consumers. They are the drivers of the economy. And just by hiring the best advertising firm to create your best social media campaigns or advertising for TV, that's not going to cut it. If they only have in their top tier men, the message that they're going to be creating or developing on behalf of your company, it's going to be obeying or serving male or men. So you need to be very clear about who's creating your messages, who is serving your female consumer. If you don't have a mirror effect in the top tier of your company, you are not serving the female consumer well. And most importantly, you are leaving money on the table. And I don't think that's what you want on 2021.
So your story, I mean, your company, Women Who Lead, you run some of the largest women conferences. Is it all women in there in your conferences? And what do you guys do in there?
You know what? That's the most interesting fact of our summit. Our summit, it's about growth. Our summit is about business. We don't talk about fashion. We don't talk about life balance. We only bring international business leaders from all over the world, from Australia, France, England, you name it. And since the event, the Women Who Lead Summit, it's only about business. We have lots of male CEOs who attend the summit in order to be ahead of the curve.
Great. Now, you aren't originally from the United States.
Well, I'm originally, yes, indeed, from Puerto Rico, United States of America. And then when Hurricane Maria hit, well, before that, I used to live here as well. When I used to be the spokesperson for Humana, one of the largest HMOs in the nation, I used to be their spokesperson, not only in English, but in Spanish nationwide. And I went to school to La University in New Orleans. So I have spent lots of years in living in the mainland. But when Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico and we had no connectivity and everything was on pause, I decided to come to Orlando and start from zero. It was very interesting, Krystal, because I come, and I have to say this in a very humble way, but I come from a place where I'm a brand name. Everybody knows my name when it comes to business and women inclusion. And then when we decided to come to Orlando, in particular Winter Park, nobody knew our name. And I'm not in the business world of selling pens or phones or shoes. I sell a very specific solution to CEOs.
So how did you go from hardly anybody knowing your name to now we're going to have you as a keynote speaker for the Christian Chamber, and you lead hundreds and thousands of women in some of these summits and some big companies?
There is just one answer to that, just one answer. And that is my faith. Without my faith, I wouldn't have been able to survive all these distractions and turmoils. I'm a Christian woman, a business woman, and my faith is the number one driver that has allowed me to reach not only or expand my business not only in Puerto Rico but internationally as well. Like this last week, we had like the Women Who Lead Summit, but it was El Congreso Mujer que Lidera, which is the Spanish version, and it was a virtual summit for Spanish-speaking women in business, and we had hundreds of women from all over the world. But without the help of you know who, we wouldn't have been able to accomplish everything that we have been able to.
It's really interesting, Frances, and I think you can speak to our audience because just because we're members or have members that are part of the Christian Chamber, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're out selling Bibles or they're in a ministry type of work field. It could be any type of field, like a printing business or insurance business. And so how do you balance being a Christian in the marketplace and not necessarily attacking people with your faith, but still being a light to people that are in business? Because I'm assuming several of your clients maybe are not self-proclaimed or professed Christians.
I love that question, and I'm going to share a strategy of mine. I have to be very careful because the vast majority of my clients come from the corporate world. We have the largest companies of the world supporting our events and sponsoring our events. We are talking about Fortune 200 companies. So we cannot include our beliefs in those conversations. But what I can do is that whenever I'm teaching people and my women and men on how to become better speakers and presenters, I always share with them the best of the best when it comes to Christian speakers. For example, just to mention one, Joel Austin. Joel Austin is one person that I have used. His word is very powerful for many people, but on the same token, he is a great speaker. So what I do is I introduce my students, the attendees of my programs, to Joel Austin so that they can learn from his speaking abilities. And on the same token, they get hooked to him and start learning more about the world and looking for more. That's one of the strategies that I use.
It's wonderful to see that your work has become a ministry, in a way, a missionary, to be able to reach or disciple, to reach others, and maybe they don't realize it's coming. It's kind of how I see the Christian Chamber. Even though we're very clear that we're kingdom business and community, so many people are hearing about what's happening in the Christian Chamber, and they just want their business represented. And boy, do they get a whole lot more when they come and see and interact with the people that are part of the chamber. I tell you what, our walls are buzzing because you're coming. And just to give the audience a little bit about what to expect, this is another virtual event. You're going to be able to tie into this from wherever you are. So I really expect this to be viral. This could be viewed. You can be a part of this conversation with Frances, whether you're in Kansas, whether you're in New York. So share this on social media so that your boss and that you and that your team and your team of leaders and executives can all be listening and learning here from a Christian's perspective. We also are going to have a watch party at Canterbury and our newest neighborhood location in Volusia County. They're going to be having a kickoff party as well. So we're going to be gathering, for those that are comfortable gathering in groups, we're going to have exhibits, we're going to have a party. And for those that would rather stay at home and be in the comfort of their own home or office, you'll have an opportunity. You're not going to want to miss this. We've got Frances Rios. So Frances, would you please tell people how to get a hold of you, how they can reach you, and then any final thought or way that you would like to wrap up with this podcast today?
I have two things that I want to share. First of all, if you're going to be attending and you're going to be joining us, and if you think you're just going to sit at your desk and take notes and listen to me, You are wrong. I get bored like that. So I need you to be ready because I want to have a very extremely interactive session. So I'm going to be asking questions and I'm going to be having conversations with you all. So don't think that this is going to be a regular program. We are going to be having a conversation. That's first. Secondly, I'm going to be sharing with you data from the W certified company. Only the companies that participate in this program get access to the results. And I'm going to be sharing with you the access to all the results from this because you belong to the Christian Chamber of Commerce. And yeah, that's going to be only for you guys and girls. Okay. So that's two. And then if you want to connect with me and if you want to learn more and be more prepared for that session, just go to W Who Lead. Who Lead, connect with me, go to my social media, send me an email if you want to with your questions, and I would be more than happy to answer anything before and after the session.
How wonderful. We're so excited. We can't wait. Hurry up, November 12th. Get here. We've got to grow and get our plans ready and prepare to make 2021 an amazing, outstanding year with men and women working together to make more money and to serve more of our clients. So thank you, Frances Rios. Can't wait to see you then. Bye, everybody. We'll see you on November the 12th. Bye.
This has been the Builders Podcast, presented by the Central Florida Christian Chamber and produced by Triangle Media. If you're interested in having a program like this for your business, contact Suzanne Lynn at trianglemedia.biz.